should never faze me. Got me shining like a diamond, put one on my lady. Only one girl who could call me baby. Vision clear, I used to see it hazy. Vision clear, I could see it now. Every time they try to take me out, back to back, I'm wildin' now. I hit the top and didn't say a word. I hit the top and didn't say a word, and still they never shout me out. This not for you, I'm trying to make me proud. This not for you, I'm trying to make me proud. In the mirror, say it loud. Lock in, lights, camera, action. Telly, SBN, it's a top scene. Lock in, lights, camera, action. I don't fold a band when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious. Do it with a purpose, we don't do it to be famous. Really they been hating cause they ain't us. Lock in and get dangerous. Lock in, lights, camera, action. Telly, SBN, it's a top scene. Lock in, lights, camera, action. I don't fold a band when it's time to win. Trolling cause we're rolling under lights, we don't get anxious. Do it with a purpose, we don't do it to be famous. Really they been hating cause they ain't us. Lock in and get dangerous. What you get you see, I'll always be me. What you get you see, I need no ID. I need nothing, no, something wrong. I like Kim Rose, I need money rose.
Good afternoon, pool fans. So just about to start on this table, after Dean finishes his practice rack, is an 8-ball superstar matchup. We have got Dean Shields and Jake Dillon Newlove, both highly decorated on the English 8-ball circuit, but both very, very accomplished 9-ball players. So this one will be a treat to watch.
Yeah, it feels very much like a English 8-ball weekend, seeing these two in the quarter-final. So used to it on the small table, and now they're facing each other in the quarter-final of GB9. So one of these guys is going to reach the semi-final, and both these guys are going to be involved in the first ever pro event tomorrow, which involves the last 8 players. And I don't know about you, but I can't call this one. They're both good friends as well off the table.
Oh yeah. I am going to make a prediction 9. Just because of how he's been playing recently, I'm going to make a prediction 9-7 to Dean. You heard it here first, folks. I am not giving odds or taking bets. That is Dean's lag. So we have Mr. Shields will be breaking the first rack of this quarter-final. Yeah, I've spoken about it earlier, but Dean made the transition from English 8-ball to 9-ball, I think a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. He's got a Rasson table in his club that he's been putting in the work on. You know, he's been out to Vietnam, he's been playing in all the international events. And, you know, he's been going deep in some of these matchroom events as well. You know, so.
Yeah, like I said, definitely seen him beat Duong Quoc Quang in his own backyard in Vietnam, and he beat Billy Thorpe earlier this year. I think that was the UK Open, but I can't be 100% sure. Been a lot of events this year, so he can take massive scalps, and he plays the game the right way.
Yeah, well, both these players do. You know, they don't play it the way you sometimes see, you know, English pool players that make the jump over to 9-ball. They try and play it like they're still playing on the small table with the small balls. You know. And you see that in the patterns they take or the style of positional shot they take. I was like, no, these guys play 9-ball like 9-ball players. Been a bit unlucky there with the break. No shot on the 2, so push out will be the order of the day. There's no real nice kick safe available here, just with the 2 being that far off the rail. I think, what do you take? Where do you push to here? He's looking at potentially just going down. Yeah, maybe leave. Or is he looking at leaving a kick?
Well, the push out is one of the aspects of the game that most intrigues me with 9-ball, and like there's so much strategy involved in it. I just wonder, because these two guys know each other so well, they'll know which shots each other's comfortable with, and will be able to push to something that's maybe a bit more awkward for their opponent, but they know they are comfortable with, which makes it really tricky.
Yeah, we hear a lot of the time people will say play the table, not the player, but I think when it comes to the push out and like certain situations in the game, sometimes you do play the player a little bit. You know, if you know that they're maybe not super confident when it comes to jumping, for example, you know, we see a lot of players sometimes now push out to a jump if they know that they might get it given back to them. Speaking of jumps, it looks like Dean will be jumping at this 2-ball. shout out to anyone watching at home. Get yourselves involved in the chat on the YouTube comments. We'd love to hear your feedback. Get a bit of back and forth going. So Dean's just looking here, what is he going to leave at the jump here? Because there's not really any value in jumping to try and pot this. With the 5 being so close to the 2, you're almost certainly going to run into it. So I think he's looking to try and maybe jump, knock the 2 up, down towards bulk, maybe run and hide behind the 5 ball, 4 ball with the cue ball, or maybe try and get over towards the 7. And that's what's happened. I don't know about you, Ben, but I hate these shots.
Well, like, the reason I sit here is because I hate all shots. And much rather it isn't being taken. But Jake's already had a go on this table earlier on. He played his losers qualification match first thing this morning here, and he said that he felt the table was a bit slow compared to what he's used to. But he's
held that well. It's so easy to just, when it's like, when you're covering so much distance, queuing out of that corner bag, putting the ball that's hanging over the opposite corner bag, and you want to try and hold down that end of the table, it's so easy to catch that thick and then just end up like nowhere on the 3. So he's played that well.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, he'll have some experience from earlier on today. This looks like it's just going to get there. It has.
Depending on what, I think he's a little bit high on this, maybe a bit straightish. I don't think he's too straight. Is he looking to stun out, or is he looking to go for? Oh no, yeah, he's got quite a bit more angle than I thought. That's a sign of confidence, that. Punching that. Coming back up that way. Yeah, he's feeling good. So, not too much to do this remaining rack. Pick your poison here, really, on the 7. Do you want the same pocket as the 6, or do you want to just come up and take it in the opposite bottom pocket? You could even take it to the middle if you wanted to be really conservative, but yeah, don't mind that. There's that old tenet of the game of not playing position when you have position, and like trying to minimise cue ball movement where possible. But then once you get up to the level of these guys where you are just confident moving that white around, sometimes you do just want to like some players there might have took the 7 to the middle because it's just a stop shot on the 6, but Jeremy Jones might say there's a difference between perfect position and proper position. Yeah. Plum on this 9 to the middle, so first blood to the butcher. To Jake.
And just looking through the players' route to this quarter-final, Dean's seemed to have breezed through a lot of his opponents. And Jake's had a slightly tougher time, so Dean, first round, beat Jay Harrison 9-0, then Graham Hamilton 9-4, and then had a stern test with Tom Staveley, but came through that 9-5 to get through to winners qualification where he faced Carlo Blasi and also beat him 9-5. And then in the last 16, he's just come through a match winning very comfortably 9-2 against Simon Galami. Whereas Jake, he started off comfortable, 9-5, 9-3, 9-4 victories against James Lee, Harry Harrison and Demetrius Teriovis respectively. Then he came up against last event's defeated finalist Danny Guckel and came unstuck, losing 9-4, so had to go into the losers qualifier, which he won this morning on this table against Barry French 7-4, and then a very tough test against Oliver Lawrence where they couldn't be separated, and he won that Hill 9-8. And now they're facing each other, these two very good friends. Do you reckon they'll have already discussed a deal with any prize money?
No, I don't believe so. These guys want all of it. They're here to win.
I just wonder, because Jake is sometimes a bit of a fiery character and gets upset with himself. I wonder if playing somebody he knows so well will actually help him and settle him down. As you say, massively highly decorated on the English 8-ball tour. He was losing World Championship finalist last year, I think. Jake. And he lost out on Hill, I think.
Was that against Gareth Hibbett?
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was an unbelievable final.
Another good 9-ball player too, Gareth Hibbett.
Well, Gareth can play anything. He's had back-to-back 147s in snooker. Like, it's just unreal. Absolutely unreal.
He's had hole-in-ones at golf. He's had a 9-darter as well.
I thought that was Sean Murphy.
Sean Murphy will tell you it was Sean Murphy. Having seen Sean Murphy throw some darts, I'm not entirely convinced.
In all seriousness, though, is that genuine? He's had a 9-darter.
Gareth Hibbett, I think so.
I'll have to ask him when I see him next. And I definitely will.
So, this 3 and 6 look pretty close to nailed on. So, jump hit the 3 full here. Yeah. There we go. And I think you'll be shooting at the bank here. Early days in the match, you want to kind of get yourself on the board. Fairly natural to, well, assuming he's not too straight on the bank, fairly natural to swing round 3 rails for the 4. That being said, and he is looking at it now, there is a big wall of balls with the 7, 5 and 8 to hide behind if he does choose to play safe. We'll see by his, yeah, it looks like he's playing safe. Cooler heads prevailed, and that's pretty good. He has left a jump though. And the evolution of the jump shot over the last, certainly like few years now that the carbon fibre jump cues have been coming out and the technology's been getting better and better. I remember back when I first started playing 9-ball, you were lucky, you know, you were generally just aiming to hit the ball. You know, if you potted it half the time, it was a bonus. But now, like, you know, you look at players like Fedor Gorst, Joshua Filler, and, you know, some of the equipment that you can now get, you know, the jump shot, you can be looking at this sort of shot and be like, no, I'm going for this with the intent to pot it.
Yeah, a couple of players that rarely come up in that conversation of really good jumpers, and I think are just massively underrated from sort of watching them, you know, being right at the table. Ko Ping Chung and Aloysius Yap. They just barely miss if it's a jump shot.
Oh yeah. You know, we see that, like, you know, we talk, you know, you talk about when it comes to games, you have the meta game of a certain sport or game. You know, it has just evolved to the point now where, you know, you almost need to be competing at that high level. You need to have in your locker the ability to not just jump and hit a ball, but, you know, to control it, to pot it, play position. You know what I mean? You see, like, players like Fedor Gorst jumping in balls and screwing back 6 feet for the next one. You know, that's where we're at now in the sport.
Yeah, but it also changes the other aspects of the game. You know, that sort of safety that Dean played there, you used to be happy with that. You had the ball covered. Now you want to be tight so that you take out that jump. And what I've really seen develop even over the last couple of years is the really tight jump shot that players can get that cue ball up and down over a ball that's not very far away at all. So you have to be pretty much touching a ball now to block out any attempts for a jump.
It's always fun to see the purists reminiscing about back when there were no jump cues and you shouldn't be able to jump out of a snooker.
He might have got away with this, you know. I don't think so.
There was a bit of a snick to the middle available. He might even have the plant. So I think he's looking at.
Well, I think he can play centre ball on the 5, and it'll flick off the 7 and send the 5 down table. And that's it, and just stick the cue ball. That's a horrible one to get out of. And that's exactly what we're talking about when we're saying take out the jump shot.
It's not even a nice one rail kick here, you know. You can't go to the left hand side of the table because of where you are on the 8. I think the middle pockets. No, not the middle. Well, go one rail the other way. 7 kind of comes into play. You've got to play that weird one where you kind of sharp tighten up the angle. Don't see a nice 2 rail, 3 rail. With the 5 being like quite close to the middle of the table, not near a rail, it's a much smaller target to get to. So Jake's in a world of hurt here.
He's going to do well to even make any sort of contact with this, let alone get it safe. So Dean saw that shot immediately though, didn't he? He was straight down playing it. Oh, he's done well here.
Yeah.
He's done well there. He'll take that from what he had.
Yeah. So I think it looks like he's trying to just like stun in behind the 9 here. That's a good shot.
When you say some of these English 8-ball players come across and play the game in the right way, this is exactly it. You know, Dean's going to stay as patient as he has to. If he has to do that 10 times in a row, he will. He will make it. So Jake gives him a chance here, if he can.
Again, there's not really a nice route to this. Now, even though the 5's quite close to the pocket. You see here, he's if you try and go into the bottom rail and go up. Sorry, I'm just keeping an ear out in case I get called for the challenge 1.
That's okay. I promise we won't dock you a rack because you
yeah.
hear commentating.
Yeah, if you try and go like the left hand of the table, 1 rail. You know, because of where the 9 is, you're queuing over it. You kind of got to try and check it a bit. It's a really horrible, like slidey shot that can go wrong and go towards the 8. But if you try and go, like, you know, a lot of players would look at the 2 rail here, but the 7 and 8 are quite big balls, really. If you try and go the 2 rail towards the, you know, bottom rail, right hand side rail. You might even be looking at like the twice across kind of Z shot here. That's a very difficult one to judge. You get so much like slide off, but not so much the first rail, but the second rail.
I think he's going underneath the 7, but trying to go above the middle pocket. This is super tough. Yeah, he caught the point trying that.
Not an easy shot at all, and to be honest, he was not far off where he wanted to be hitting there at all. You know, it's going to sound a bit silly to say it, but he was not far off that. So now Dean with a chance to level the score. Yeah, we talk about, like, you know, playing like a 9-ball player. He's looking at swinging this out 2 rails, bottom right. Play for the 7 in the middle bag. Lovely. It's up to him here. Could even play a stop shot. And then just go across the table, short side of the 9 from the 8. Or draw back a little bit and just screw down. Yeah, just chose to screw it back a little bit, so he'll be going long side of the 9 rather than short side. Just a little screw shot here.
Yeah, he's got a bit more angle than he meant. You could see it in his face when he came across. Yeah, middle pocket sort of comes into play a little bit, so he might instead choose to take it out completely and go twice across and leave it short side as you first suggested.
Looking at the way he's queuing, I think he is going twice across. Yeah. Yeah. I think he was straight enough to be able to pinch that and like screw it back. But as you say, like, you know, why risk it? Why risk bringing that middle pocket into play? So 1-1. Little exchange of words and a laugh there from the players. As you say, these two get on really well. Good friends off the table.
Yeah, I really think that'll play into an advantage for Jake, you know, because he does have a tendency, if he goes a few racks behind, he does have a tendency to just throw the tally. I just don't think he'll do it against Dean at all, because he just won't get frustrated, or as frustrated, should I say. He might prove me wrong, we'll see.
So Mr. Shields to break, 1 apiece. One ball straight in the middle bag, 2 ball looks like it'll be dressing up nicely over the corner bag. This is what you want. This is what you want. Two to 4. Pick your poison really here. He's got enough angle to just be able to stun across. Some players like going forward and using right hand side here. On these slippy tables though, it can just die off that bottom rail if you put top on it by accident. Nah, Dean's played it well. Doesn't want to be straight though.
Absolutely dead straight.
Oh, no. Yeah, now he's... That 5 is just... If the 5's over the bag, you don't mind this, but because it's just off there on the bottom, on the top rail, yeah, this is horrible.
He's going to have to really hit this just to get anything off.
So it looks like that 5 is very close to the top rail too, so like you can't even really take your medicine. Oh, he's done well there. It'd be hard push to get much more off the cushion than that.
Yeah, just those 2-3 inches makes a massive world of difference.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks pretty close. Might try that, you know, rail first, kick it in with a right-hand side shot, you reckon?
Well, that's the sort of shot that would never occur to me, you know, as a lower level player.
Let's see. No, I think he can just cut it, actually, yeah, so... Oh, yeah, it was further out from the rail than I thought. Got loads of room. From where I was sitting, I thought it was almost welded to the rail, but no, I had plenty of the ball there. Again. This is one. Some players will try and slow roll this 6 and hold for the 7 in the bottom left pocket. I don't personally like that shot because I've got a bit of a tweaky stroke, and if I try and slow roll something, I'm just begging to miss it. So I like I like stunning this short side. I think that's what Dean's playing as well. Yeah. Oh, he's gone around the back of it, but that could have gone well.
I think it has.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to catch you on the way through, obviously.
I think if you're playing that, you want to kind of come above the 7 rather than behind it. But again, you know, providing you don't catch the 8 with the 7, you can play the 7 off the side rail up towards bulk and kind of try and hold round where the 7 is now. Use the 9 as a blocker.
It does look like Jake's going to get back to the table then in this rack, which didn't look likely a couple of shots ago. just what he's going to be faced with.
It's not bad.
Jake will definitely fancy this though.
Yeah.
You would have thought he was coming back to much worse than this.
Very tough though, this distance queuing off the rail. That being said, you don't really have to do anything with the white. You'd feel very hard done by if you don't have a shot on the 8 after potting this. These are toughies.
He's overcut it.
Yeah.
Wow. Honestly, didn't think that was possible.
See there, that top spin can just grab the object ball and throw it thin with a rolling ball. Well, well, been wrong before on how close these balls are to the rail. It's hard to tell from here. It looks pretty much not frozen, quite close to it. I think he's looking at the 2 rail safe here. Try and play the 7 off top rail, side rail, down towards the middle of the bottom rail. And just keep the white up in bulk. Or you can go the other way about it. That requires quite a thin snick on the right hand side of the object ball. You can sometimes end up just selling out. Shoot that here. He doesn't like it. Does not like it, folks.
And he's playing safe.
Yeah, so it
That's the
sees.
right hand side.
Yeah, he's going the other way. Personally, I prefer playing the 7 up the 2 rails towards the... This isn't easy, but again, it's one... If you're feeling aggressive, you can shoot at this. And you could take... If you shoot at this to the top left pocket, you're taking, I think, 4... Well, depending if I was floating it. That's well controlled. A thin one like that, I've almost been tempted to let me stroke out. Go 4 rails for the 8. So 2-1 to Jake. Interestingly, the first 3 racks, the way they've gone, each rack has been won off the opposing player's break. So it just goes to show that just because you win the lag doesn't necessarily mean you win the match. As some people have been sometimes saying about this game.
Just around the room in the other quarter-final matches, Mark Foster is 1-1 with Liam Monk. Matty Wrigley, who we saw here, beat Imran Majid in a brilliant match last. He's currently 3-1 down to Ramesh Danny Gokul. And Ashik Nathwani, who defeated Fraser Patrick with a great score of 9-1, is already 3-0 down to Mark Capito. So, very different story to the last match he had. As we see, Jake missed the one, but make a couple of other balls.
And these look like a pretty nice layout. I think the 4 passes the 7. Even if it doesn't, you've got options. Yeah. So he's got a good angle here. to come over for the 4 in the same pocket as the 3. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be tempted to go on 2 rails, just 1 rail. Just 1 rail crosses the shot here. Yeah, lovely. Nice angle just to come down table for the 6 in the bottom right. Let's go in the other way. I don't mind that. This is still a 9 out of 10. I feel like once he makes this, they're all there.
The only danger, and he's taken that danger out, I was going to say, was just drifting up too far and not coming back out again, but he made sure by making sure he hit that second rail and coming right out to mid-table. So you'd think this is done. A bit more distance than he'd want here.
I think that's one of the things you sometimes, that's what distinguishes like players like these guys that have made the jump across to 9-ball pretty much fully. You sometimes see like, you sometimes see like 8-ball players, they'll try and like hold, they'll shy away from like letting their stroke out, and then you can end up in funny positions as a result of it, whereas in this game, like, you're better off a lot of the time just, you use an extra reel to come up, hit the ball positively, rather than try and hold on a very like small area.
Yeah, especially those shots where you go forward 2 or 3 rails, they're so alien for English 8-ball, where the cue ball is lighter than the other balls, because it's much harder to push that cue ball forward. So it's just not something they play a lot. So yeah, it can be hard to adapt, but these guys have done it very well.
So Jake with a break and run there, and that is also the first rack of this match that has been won off the incoming player's break. So Jake, if you like, has regained service. So now it is Dean to break, trailing 1 rack to 3. How are you guys all doing at home? Are you excited to watch the coverage this weekend? Perhaps some of you have played this weekend. How have you got on? Let us know in the comments. 1 ball on the side, 2 ball looks alright. 3 ball has stayed up, that's good.
It's right in the pocket though, those can sometimes be a bit awkward for position. But
to be fair, yeah, would you rather be playing position from this 2 ball onto the 3 or onto the 4? For me, or at least, you can just make sure of it, but got that like little weird angle on the 2. He's got angle, but not loads of it. But again, with the 3 being where it is, you don't really have to be too fussy about where the cue ball lands here. So yeah, as you say, these ones that are like deep in the shelf, they can be so funny to play position off. You can catch the point, all sorts of little things can happen. Thankfully the 4, the pink 4 ball, as they would say, is not too far away from the red 3 ball, so there's not too much to do here positionally. Just be careful with the point of that pocket, you don't catch it with the cue ball and end up in no man's land. Yeah, he's done the right thing there. Rather than bring the jaws into play, just screw straight back. He's ended up a little bit awkward,
but it's infinitely better than the alternative, which is to half hit that and end up with the cue ball stuck at the top of the table.
so he just has to be a little bit conscious of the traffic as he moves down table from the pink 4 to the purple 5. You got the 7 and the 8 down there. You've got to be careful you don't hook yourself behind the 9. I like going 2, maybe 3 rails here, round to the right hand side of the brown 7. Just don't try and play for that little gap between the 8 and because it's so easy to snooker yourself. Just get below all these balls.
He's underhit this.
Yeah, he's tried to go around that way. I think he's possibly caught the jaw a little bit there. That's took some of the mustard out of the cue ball.
Yeah, with these points of the rails on a 9-ball table, there's not a lot behind them. So if you do catch a jaw, a point, it can really take the steam out of the cue ball. It's so difficult to judge.
I'd be surprised if he goes for the pot here. Just looking at safety options. 3-1 down, you don't really want to go for anything too boisterous. I'm not saying that, he might do. Makes a lot of faces, Dean does.
It's quite good to watch though, because you know exactly what he's thinking. And what I find quite funny is any time his opponent catches a ball they didn't mean to catch, whatever, and it runs okay, he really looks like someone's just said, "Oh, your dog's dead."
The eyebrows just shoot up, don't they? He's got very emotive eyebrows. So yeah, he's put Jake on a spot of bother here, which is good. I think Jake will be going for the jump cue. Sometimes there's situations where you don't go for the jump and the right shot is to kick at it, but this is not one of them. Jump at this. You might even try jump, send the 4 2 rails down towards the bottom end of the table. You maybe try and like stick behind the 6, or do you just try and pot the ball and see what you get? I think it might just be a case of like, see what you get here. So it's a very tough safety, even if it wasn't a jump. Trying to get behind the 6 and get the 4 up, or get the 5 up table, be a tough ask. He's gone for it though. Good, he's not got the safe. Very difficult there. Very, very difficult. So Dean with a chance here. Got a bit of angle. You want to maintain some angle on the 6. Maintain some angle on the 6. He's got some. It's that little like, it's not too far off being straight.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to pinch the pocket a bit, or use every part of that left-hand jaw in order to.
Now, I've noticed these tables are much less forgiving, I should say, off the far jaw than they are on the near jaw. The near jaw, you can slide them in, you've got quite a little bit of wiggle room. The far jaw, not so much. You know, they really spit out if you punch them and catch that far jaw funny near the point. But he has to pinch this to the far jaw. So this is tougher than it looks to get out nice for the 7. Okay, he's took his medicine. There we go. He's took his medicine and left himself a bit of a tougher 7. Just looking at the angle, because he's going to be going into the 8 here. Just wants to make sure he just pushes that 8 towards the left-hand corner pocket. Yeah, just roll this.
Any danger of making both? No. That's good pace.
It's nice on this 9 line to narrow the gap to 3-2. Dean's got a new cue from the last time I saw him as well.
All you players seem to do is change cues. Must be nice to have a sponsor that helps with those sort of things.
I think I changed jump cues like 6 months ago or so. And, apart from that, I've been playing with the same shaft for about 7 years, but I did change the butt of my playing cue about 5 years back.
I would say that's quite infrequent for a 9-ball player.
Oh yeah, like some guys will you know, they'll be chopping and changing every 6 months. You know, it's I'm not saying that. You know, if it's a hobby you enjoy or you're making a bit of money off, potentially, why not? So there's that one ball in the side again. Both these players breaking pretty well, which is why it was surprising for the first part of the match. The first 3 frames were all won off the opposing player's break. So now, Jake, I mean, they split lovely, and if you have the cue ball centre table, you can't see him from run these really, but just with where the cue ball is here, this is probably a safety.
Yeah,
Safety
is
situation.
he can't hit the left-hand side of the cue ball, which he needs to be able to get down for the 3 off the 2. So, let's see what he does here.
Oh, look at that.
That is fantastic.
Cash money. Little tap of the table from Dean there. Yeah, I can see there that cue ball just welded up to that 8. You do have a 1 rail kick here, I think. Then what do you get from it is the question. Maybe he doesn't have the 1 rail. It's the middle pocket where he would like to hit on the side rail. Looks like he's looking at. This is tough. This is really tough.
This is horrific, actually. Yeah.
I think if he didn't have the 1 rail available to him down the left-hand side of the table, that might be a situation that you look at trying to tie a ball up. Just take the foul. Because now these are all there really. 2, 3, 4, 4 connects to the 5, 5 connects to, you know, they all. 6 to 7 doesn't connect brilliantly, but it's not too difficult. He's got to be a bit conscious of the 9. You could even settle for 7 up to the same pocket that he's going to take the 4 into. Just make sure you don't snooker yourself here. You shouldn't. That's it. Come out past it. Yeah. Loads of room. Now you fancy Jake to take these really. Not much to do here at all. Cue ball back out to near where it was before. There we go. You would like to be straighter on this, but you know, we've seen before he's not hesitant at all to just stun out side rail and back out again. You know, dig in on this a little bit. There it is. So now this is what I was talking about. This was probably the only shot that didn't connect that nicely. 6 to the 7. Just because of where the 9 was, he wanted to make sure he stayed high on the 6. Could have, you know, he had room to come over a bit more, but yeah. So what do you play here? Do you try and like kill the cue ball with like a draggy sort of shot and stay low on the 7? Or do you let your arm out and try and find some... Oh, okay, right. That's a nice little shot, that. It's just widened that angle going forward enough to avoid clipping the 9. A bit more delicate than it looked, that. It was a good shot. Ooh.
And then he's thrown one in.
Yeah. Not a gimme, but a player of Jake's caliber, I expect him to make those. Right, what sort of angle has he left on this? Because this is... I think it's a little bit off straight, a little bit of a back cut. I mean, the 8's not far off the middle of the line of the middle of the top cushion, so if you've got a screw back towards shorter side, I think he'll be quite happy enough to do that. Yeah, and there we go. And that's what I like about Dean's game. Just you look at how positively he cues through that. He's not hitting that hard at all, but you look at how much reaction he generates from it. You know, that is just good timing, good technique. Joy to watch him when he's in full stroke. So now that's 3-all.
Yeah, really didn't expect that. I really thought that was going 4-2. So let's see how Jake reacts to that. Like I say, it's the sort of thing that will set him off a lot of times.
You just let me know if it looks like we need to hide under the table.
Oh, he's a teddy bear, really.
So will we see the 1 in the side pocket again? Both these players have been breaking really well. There it is. 2-ball. Back in the day, there was a guy I used to play with, and he taught me a lot of what I learned in my first couple of years of playing 9-ball when I was 18, 19. This is about 12 years ago. And you know, he was kind of teaching me the break and like how to break and make the 1 in the side rather than make the wing ball, because this was back in the days where it was the move towards racking high had only really just come in back then.
Yeah.
And he'd talk about, you know, if you miss the 1 ball on the side, the amount of times it ends up in the middle of that top rail. We call it the famous 1 ball. And like, this is almost what Dean's ended up with. You know, except he's got the famous 2 ball.
So undoubtedly a push. Where's he going to leave him?
So many times when you get these kind of push-out situations, I feel like it's almost like an esoteric sort of unknowable beast, the push-out, in terms of, like, you know, you want to leave something tempting but not so tempting that it's a gimme. You want to leave something hard but not so hard they give it back. Or, you know, do you want them to give it back? Would you rather play the shot? You know, would you rather let them try and go for what you've given them and then mess it up and let you in?
But this is where I love the strategy element of that particular shot, because I've seen, at the top level, I've seen Joshua Fuller leave a, like, let's say the 5 ball, it would be the next shot here. He's literally pushed out to this because the player's been playing that badly, and he knows that if the player misses that next shot, the game's done. Okay, so he's just left him something where he can hang himself, if that makes sense. I've seen Eklund Catchy push out to a push shot that's sort of in the middle of the table because the player he's playing is about a foot shorter than him. So the player can't reach it, but Eklund can. So do you want to give that back?
Yeah, you know, we talk about, like, you know, what I like about 9-ball is at its core, I think it's a game more of execution than strategy. in its essence. You know, obviously there is like quite a sizable strategy element, but not like, let's say, something like One Pocket or you know, old rules English 8-ball, where it's like, you know, you spend half an hour developing balls and all that malarkey. But you know, 9-ball at its core is just put all the balls, and have you got the minerals and technique to do that? But then, yeah, you know, you might see like a handful of safety exchanges or a handful of safeties in a match, but generally, or not in a match, in a rack, but generally only one kind of like safety exchange per rack at the kind of like intermediate level upwards. Because then, like, you know, once someone blinks and gives up a shot or ball in hand, it's usually punished and then you get the run out. But yeah, as you say, the push out is just that extra layer of strategy and mind games, and you know, it's almost like poker. You know, as you say, like, you know, oh, look at that, that's very well controlled. It's tougher than it looks when you're playing it slow like that.
Especially because he had to be so close to the point there, and that's the point where the cue ball's energy can just be lost on that rail. So it was tough to judge. Has he got enough on this?
Yeah, look at that. Lovely. Little draw shot here. I might even just like get the cue ball centre table-ish, and you've got a nice angle to float over for 6. Yeah, there you go. You'd like to be reasonably straight on the 6. Just looking at where the 7 is, even if you're not, to be fair. Actually, I think you probably wouldn't mind being maybe a little bit closer than where he is now. Just go 2 rails across rather than try and screw it. Rather screw it. He just wants to make sure. Yep, that's fine. Straight. One thing he didn't want to be there was playing a little bit of a back cut. But this is fine. Apparently, look at this, right? He's not going to hit this hard at all. He's got such a nice cue action. Look how much he generates. Yeah, just lovely timing, lovely control.
Jake already knows this one's probably over, and he's going to be behind for the first time in this match.
He's okay. You saw a little bit of like a head shake there because he thought the cue ball was going potentially to where he'd be hampered by the 9. But he's fine here. Just gotta be careful that you don't dig into it and like catch it a bit funny and scratch in the middle. But I think he's just gonna stun to the side rail rather than try and draw back. Oh no, he's brought it back. Ah, that's confidence. Never in doubt scratching. So this 9 for 4-3 Dean. There we go. So for the first time, he's leading in this match. It is Jake's brick. A little bit of chit chat at the table. The Butcher, as he's called. I don't know if Dean's got a nickname. Do you know? Nothing we can repeat here.
Exactly that, yeah. A lot of the English 8-ball players have started calling him Mr. Mosconi. Because the amount he started playing 9-ball now.
Cue ball. Oh no.
It's dry as well.
Let's see. So 1 to 2. Yeah, you've got room to just kind of come around the back of the 2 ball there for the 2 in the same pocket. 3, 4, you can take to the middle, I think. From where you are on the 3, or from where you would be on the 3, you can take the 4 to the right middle. Bit of a tight one, but then the position on the 5s, yeah, these all connect pretty well. So I'm going to go out on a limb and no, commentator's curse is just like...
It's interesting for me to I just let you talk there, because it's interesting for me to hear your thought process. You already know what you're doing for the rack pretty much in its entirety. And I guess when it goes wrong, like it has here with Dean, almost immediately, you have to reroute and change that plan.
I think here you still just try and... Well, I'd try and push through with top. You know, not punch it, just like let the the kind of soft sort of toppy shot, just to really try and let it grip in as much as possible. Okay, you're probably getting a little bit of a contact on the 4. You could try and stun it over and then hope that you're catching the bottom half of the 4 at an angle that just kind of stuns you down towards the 3. But no, he's pushed through it there. That's good. And tell you what, it's actually worked out really well. He's got a nice little bit of angle on the 3, and then just to stun up, give an angle on the 4. Yeah, he's all good. Well. So yeah, he's took a little bit of a plan B there, but it's worked out nice. Yeah, again, he's not shy to use that 2-rail route there. You know, like, in your experience refereeing and that, do you kind of find yourself watching, you know, when let's say if you're doing like the matchroom events or things like that, do you kind of find yourself like trying to find the routes before the player gets down?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the things that shows the better referees is I already know where I need to stand for most of the shots, or I should do. And I'm already on. As soon as, see, for example, this shot here, as soon as Dean hits this, I'll be on my way around the other side of the table, exactly where he's going to go in a minute to at the top end to be able to see this, because you just don't want to be in anybody's way, you know. It's important to just stay in the background. So yeah, we do map out the routes in our own head as well. But it's always interesting to see it from a player's perspective, how you think. But yeah, I come from it for a different perspective. I'll be looking at balls that are potentially going to be, someone's going to be queuing over or queuing around, or because that makes a massive difference to where you should be stood. You'll often see if a player comes to the cue ball comes to a stop, and there's an object ball in between, and the player's going to stand and the cue ball. I'll take a look at the line of the shot, because a player might put their arm over a ball, they might put their arm round a ball, their body might be close to the ball, and all that makes a complete difference whether you're one side of the table or the other. So you want to know exactly where you want to be stood before they get down for their shot, where possible.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a different way of looking at it, I guess.
It's interesting to hear that. As you say, you know, yeah, like get a you know, when you're watching, you know, high-level games, you know, the same with the snooker, you just, you know, the referees are always just straight to where they need to be, you know.
Certainly should be.
It should be.
It should be. Yeah. Nobody, trust me, nobody's a worse critic than ourselves.
So that's, I think, that's the first break we've seen in a while where the 1 hasn't gone into the middle bag. And speaking of referees, this might be a case where Mr. Roper is summoned to move the rack, because I think it looks like the 1's on the rack and it's a difficult one to remove from where the cue ball is.
Yeah, they're definitely looking around for a referee now.
Julian. So oh, so it may be a case of the shot needs to be watched rather than the rack needs to be moved. These look quite close.
Yeah, if they're touching, the rack can't be removed anyway, I can tell you that. So that'll make a difference. But if there's a tiny gap between them, then yeah, the rack will have to be removed.
So Mr. Roper has entered the arena. Very well distinguished and respected referee.
Well, he's instantly told him because the balls are touching, he can't remove the rack, which is absolutely the right thing to do. The thing is, you have to disturb the balls in order to get that rack off. And if they're touching, there's absolutely no guarantee you'll get the balls back touching. And it makes a massive difference to the shot that's going to be played. So he's absolutely right to refuse the request on that occasion. That is one of the very rare times where I'd say that using a rack is disadvantaged to using a triangle or something like that. But it shouldn't cause too much of a problem. He's just got to judge the shot as he would normally, play it as if it wasn't there.
So I think, what do I like here? I like trying to get behind, go push, come thin off the left-hand side of the one ball, around the back of the two, try and use your 4 and 8 as blockers. That's the shot I like.
I was actually interested to know if he knew the rule, because he's got to make the one ball move.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, he does know it. Sometimes you see people come from other key sports disciplines and they just assume everything's the same.
Oh right, where they can play away.
They have to play away, yeah.
No, not in this game.
No.
One's got to move. It's the same too whenever there was that kind of famous was it last year? When about like pushing through a ball.
Mm-hmm.
There was it Sky Woodward?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he had a shot where they weren't quite frozen. He was cued through it and made it. And then I think Joshua Filler had a similar shot later in the tournament where they were frozen.
Correct.
And a lot of people were saying, well, why is one a foul and one isn't? And I was like, well, yeah, if you're frozen, you can cue through it to the point of a double. The double hit doesn't happen, but it's a push stroke. If they're not frozen, no, it would be called as a double hit. And a lot of people didn't. There's a lot of like.
But this is where it's really important to have properly trained referees, because even the same language is used in different cue sports, and yet the rule can be completely different. So where a lot of people thought Joshua's played a push stroke there, in 9-ball a push stroke is not. So it's defined in like snooker and English 8-ball as the cue ball, the cue of the tip of the cue, and the object ball all being in contact at the same time. Whereas in 9-ball, it's literally pushing the cue ball along with the tip. It's a completely different definition for the same rule. Whereas because you don't have that in 9-ball, you're allowed to push. I don't want to use the word push. You're allowed to hit a touching ball effectively, and you have to make a touching ball move. Because you don't get a double hit, which is the actual foul in 9-ball, is it hitting the cue ball twice, which you will get with a small gap. And that's why it's important to have. I always say that you should have qualified referees at every event. Not everybody listens, but it's important to have that sort of thing just to prevent those sort of incidents occurring.
Anyway, so now we have Dean with a chance here to get past the 6. Not where he wanted to be. So a little long floaty tester if he decides to take it on. I think you can cut that into the top right pocket and just come up 2 rails for the 5.
Yeah, I think the corner pocket's coming into play with that shot. It might be on.
I think if you play it like, if you were to kind of like punch it, it's very scratchy. I think if you kind of slow top it, you can avoid the scratch. Alright, he's turned it down. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
That's a great shot.
Go directly to jail.
Exactly what he's faced with down the line of that.
Is he going for the jump cue? He is. As we were talking about earlier, as you say, you know, the jump shot in the game is changing to the point where, you know, these close, you know, not a lot of distance between the cue ball and the 8 here at all. He's still going to back himself to get over this.
Yeah, this is really tough though. This is really tight. You see a lot of players take the little extension off the end of the jump cue. Jake hasn't done that.
I think this is just a 2-piece. I'm not.
Oh, it might be. It might be.
I've not had a good enough look at what it is. Oh, that's the result. A deserved result there, I think. Like
Dean is absolutely seething. Absolutely.
There's the little wry smile, and yeah, there's the look to the heavens.
Shake of the head. Yeah.
Got the vein pulsing on the side of his head there. Friendly, ooh, yeah, that's all right. A friendly contact on the 8s took some of the pace out of that 4. So I think here, just a little thin snick on the right hand side of the 4 ball. Send the 4 towards the 8, and then just 2 rails with the cue ball back down to where it is now. Maybe even hide behind the 7, or these other balls to the left.
I think he's got this wrong though.
Yeah, he's left a piece of that.
See a similar shot maybe?
Yeah, that 4 is going to end up getting poked further and further towards that left corner pocket.
Once again, being looked after at GB9. The coffees are coming out.
Shout out Julian Roper for the very kind. Oh, look at this. Oh, he's got his head up to the. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's because he's played it safe. He's played it safe.
Oh, no.
Doesn't even like when he gets good luck.
Hoisted upon his own petard there. Now we see the head shake. He's already done the look up to the heavens. He always does the same little routine every time. You know, it's like a little head shake. The left hand goes down on the edge of the table, and he looks up to the heavens. Then he looks down again. Right, yeah. Now you're in a world of hurt. You're in the hurt locker. Big. Not sure about that. Oh, he must only be jumping the edge of the 9. Yeah, he must have a bit more distance than I thought. Because that looked pretty close to me, so this is ambitious. If you clear as long as you clear the edge on the 9.
No.
Okay, he's hit it on the way back.
Swipe the air.
It's tough that when you're doing that kind of darty stroke, like you know, when you kind of hold the jump cue overhand, you can get over some very, very tight balls, but you lose a bit of the accuracy. It's easy to kind of chuck a bit aside on the ball, which is why he's ended up missing that the first time. And he's like, ooh.
Wow, what is going on in this rack?
Yeah, whatever you do, just
get out.
Yeah, just get past the 6. Whatever you do there.
Oh, this is horrible as well. Yeah, it's one of those strokes that I've never, because I didn't play 9-ball when I was younger, it doesn't come naturally to me, that sort of dart stroke, I call it. And same with the looped bridge, it's not something I learned at all, and I'm just too old now to learn it. Oh, I've tried, I just can't do it. It feels like trying to write left-handed to me. It's just completely unnatural, that sort of shot.
Yeah, so here we go, right, it's going for the rest jump. I don't know what ooh. Right, gotta be careful of catching the 9 here. Right. This is a toughie. Oh, he's caught the 6.
Well, at least it was an easy one to judge.
Yeah,
from a foul perspective.
yeah, just looking at how close the 5 and the 9 there, I was like, oh, I'd maybe be calling Mr. Roper over here, just to keep an eye on that. I thought,
They probably would have done, but he was busy getting our coffee.
priorities. So, ball in hand. 4 balls to mop up.
This doesn't feel like a 6-3 match, does it? Like, it feels super tight.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr.
Yeah,
Roper.
it's about to be.
He has just brought us our coffees. So Dean pop this 9 for 6-3. If we can just go over to the other camera view to see towards the left-hand side of the arena on the spectator, we've got Andrew Betts over there. Shout out to Andrew Betts, Dean's practice partner, good friend, confidant, and roommate. I think he'll be in. Is he playing his challenge game? Oh, he's heard me talking about him. He's on his way over.
Yeah, I think he's playing in Tier 2. He's quite confident about it. Dean and Jake continuing to chat between racks.
So again, they're doing a little bit of a post-mortem analysis of that rack while they rack up the next one. So now, Jake to break. You see a very stern expression on his face. He's going to take out some of this frustration on this rack.
Oh, he hit that really thin. That wasn't as intended. Missed the target.
Well, he's got away from it got away with it, I should say, a little bit. Yeah, you can always tell when they catch them a bit thin like that, with that ball below the 1, above the 9. As in this case, it's the 4 stayed there, and that's bad news. Well, for whoever ends up losing what I presume will be a little push-out / safety exchange here. It's not quite welded, as we can see from that camera angle. There's a bit of a gap between them that you can maybe use to manipulate something.
Yeah, so what you're alluding to there is that you thought he'd left a sort of stick-on plant 4-9 combo. That's, whoever gets to it first is probably going to win the rack, but it's not quite dead set, like you say. Club here beginning to fill up with regulars playing on the English 8-ball tables. There's plenty of them here as well, alongside snooker tables.
There's even a Chinese 8-ball table.
There is, yeah. It's normally pretty popular. It's a game that, yeah, somebody's on it. So
I love it. I think it's a great game.
Yeah, it's sort of that hybrid game, really, with all the major key sports, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it takes the best of both worlds, from, like, you know, English 8-ball with like the rounded pockets and everything else, but with, you know, the balls of the American game. I love it. I've played it a good few times, and also, you know, there's a huge growing international scene for Chinese 8-ball or hay-ball.
Yeah, I think they are now two distinct things, although it's practically the same game, different companies.
So now we have, is the bank here? Yeah, I think I'm personally shooting at this, especially from 6-3 up. Okay, he's gone at it well. I'd say it looked like he maybe played it as a bit of a two-way shot. to kind of like stay in line with the what we call the long string down the middle of the table, hiding behind the 4-9. But he's lucky there in a sense, because if he'd made that, you know, he'd have no shot on this 2. As it is, and again, Jake's got a toughie here. He's going for the short cue.
He hasn't been his friend a lot in this match. It's quite a bit of distance between cue ball and 9, so he's got to carry it quite a bit, but he's only got to jump the edge really. Big danger of the cue will still be jumping by the time it gets to the 1 note, and then he can hit a different part of the ball than he means to.
Oh, look at that. Oh, is he going to get punished again? No, he can see this 1 ball.
Dean, don't let me down. There we go. There's the head shake.
There's the head shake. Yeah. Tell us how you really feel, Dean.
Having a chat about it now.
Yeah, he's smiling, but inside he's seething.
Oh, he's raging. He's absolutely raging.
Looking around like, did anyone else see that? So come up.
There's much more like it from Jake.
Huge target here for position. Just a little soft bit, a little drawy sort of stunning shot with the side just to come up.
Might be a bit straight here.
Yeah, I think he's got some angle, not loads, but to back the cushion to play a bit slidey when you know, pinch this a little bit to the near jaw and just back the pocket to take it. They are reasonably forgiving if you hit them wet and catch the near jaw a little bit. Looks like he's digging that.
Yeah, tried his best to force it back across for this combo.
So let's have a look down the line of it. So he's actually all right being high on this, because you do need to engineer the angle a little bit here. So he's just picking out his contact point. So pick your point.
He's thrown it wide.
I think you've got to punch that, personally. I think playing it a bit softer like that, just loves to throw it a little bit.
But he was always going to leave the 4 ball over the pocket play at that pace as well, and just thought a little bit of extra insurance as well.
There's not really too much to do here for Dean now. Do a little bit of angle, as he has done on the 5, just to come up for the 6. And 8's over the bag, 9, not too far away from it. So this is looking like 7-3 Dean, barring any acts of God. For those of you that have watched Elemental, Acts of Claude.
No, lost on me, I'm afraid.
Good little Pixar movie.
Nothing wrong with a little Pixar.
Let's go a little stop shot. Right, 7-3.
Yeah, do you know what? Dean was 3-1 down as well. So that's 6 on the spin.
God, we've seen some turnaround stories on this TV table today, haven't we? You know, we just had a match before. Matty Wrigley 6-2 down against Imran Majid, ended up winning 9-6. But now, you know, yeah, Dean gone from being, as you say, down. Now he's stormed in front. And one thing about Dean, he is a very, very good front runner. You know, once he gets that kind of like claw. Once he gets his claws into you, like I'm sure there's a better way to phrase this, but you know.
No,
what
but
I mean?
I know exactly what you say. He's super solid. Like, he's not going to make many mistakes when he's ahead. He doesn't choke when he gets close to the winning line. So you've got to beat him, and it's even harder when you're behind.
9 on the move. Nah.
This is going to dress up nice.
So that's not too bad. I mean, okay, you got the 4 there. You're a bit hampered, but these are shots I don't personally like. But in terms of like who's at the table here, like I like Dean for these. You've got to dig in a little bit. Even if you just stun over, you've got angle to stun over there. You could potentially have a 3 to the left middle potentially, or you can stun over to where he's got his Q9, take it in the bottom left corner. If you don't fancy drawing and trying to pinch and hold, just let yourself stun over there. Yeah, there you go.
Caught the 3 on the way through though.
I think he's all right. I back him here to play just draw into the corner. He might even potentially try and go round.
Yeah, it's one of those awkward ones, I think. The natural line is close to the pocket. You're going to struggle to put inside English on it without scratching. And the other way, it's super awkward, isn't it?
I think
He's looking at inside.
Yeah.
Doesn't like it.
I don't know. I think like you just got to kind of settle for just drawing off the right hand cushion right again. You're going to be further from the 4 than you'd like, but rather than add too many cooks to the broth, go on with inside. That's a good shot. That's a very good shot. Let's find a lovely little path there. Oh yeah, he has shut me up. Sorry for not believing in the vision, Dean. Nice angle here, just stun below the 8. And back up, well, back out and up towards the 6. Yeah, he's gone. He's trying to kind of like drag it. And, it's worked out. Well, that could have gone a bit. Funny.
No, it definitely wasn't intentional. As soon as you're running into something like that, you could easily hook yourself.
So he's got a long straight one here. I back him for this. He's got a nice action. Little stop shot or a stun run if he's feeling it. Ooh.
And there is the commentator's curse.
It's funny those, the straight ones are the ones that are so easy to tweak. So I think you're shooting at this if you're Jake. You just try and clip the 7. Or you can also just play the 6 down table and hide behind the 7 as well. I don't know. I like shooting at this personally, but then again, I'm in the chair and these guys are playing in the quarterfinals. But it looks like he's shooting at it. Yeah, clip the 7. See what you get. Bit unlucky. You had to trust a little bit to fortune there. And if you try and get that kind of thin contact off the cushion to poke the 7 along the rail towards the corner pocket, it's easy to just miss the contact altogether. So he's gone into a bit fuller to make sure of catching it, but these are both pretty much on the bulk line. Some players will be tempted by the bank here, but I think you just play the 7 to the middle of top rail and float the white down towards the 8 as he's done so.
He's overcooked it though. He's going to leave a shot.
Yeah. He's not left anything easy. I don't think Dean's going to be tempted by the cut here. But he's got options for the safety. I think a little thin snick off the left-hand side of the 7 and send the white 2 rails. It's a shot I hate even after getting my glasses. Back before I got a pair of those snooker specs, I'd look at this sort of shot where I'm trying to like play thin off and hit the edge of a ball. And I'd be guessing at where the edge of the ball was. Dean here is looking at the kick and stick though, which also, I like that as well. That takes... It's a shot that takes a bit of practice to get confident with, but once you've got it in your locker, it's very versatile. And he wants to catch the 7 reasonably full and then send it off the side rail down towards the 8. Make sure you miss the middle pocket. That's worked out okay. I think he just caught a bit of that point.
Yeah, just took a bit of the angle off. Otherwise he would have been a bit close to the 8, but still perfectly safe. And he's definitely been winning the safety battles.
Yeah, that's about all you could do there. He's almost got it in behind the 9, but he's done well with that.
First man through to the semi-finals, Mark Capito has defeated Ashik Nathwani 9-3. Ashik, who beat Fraser 9-1 in the previous round, pretty much on the receiving end of something very similar. Shows you what this sport can do.
Well, I don't feel so bad for getting beat by him 7-0 yesterday then. If he's beaten by transitive property.
Mark Foster is 4-6 down to Liam Monk, and Ramesh Gokul is currently 7-4 leading over Matthew Wrigley.
So Jake going to spot a bother here. Then you want to be careful with, even if you make contacts here, what are you leaving? But then equally, if he doesn't make contact, what's he leaving? So as it's worked out, he's actually come away from that about as well as he could have done. Dean doing a little laugh and a smile there, but inside he'll be fuming. Is he tempted by the long pot? You're not gonna stay too close to the 8 here. Dean's a good. Oh no, he's turned it down. I don't blame him.
Not good though. It was quite simple to get that safe.
Good. He's put the initiative in Jake's hands. So will he maybe be thinking that perhaps he should have gone for the pot there? Good chance for the bank here. I think you've probably got to go for it, in my opinion. No, he's turned it down. Shows what I know. He's got a good safe out of it. Yeah, no impatience from these guys. If they don't like the kind of half chance they've got in front of them, just play it safe, wait for a better one. That's discipline. That's what comes from experience at competing at the high levels of the game these guys have, particularly in the 8-ball scene. So Dean with a jump here. He's got over it. It's not far off the pot. What's the leave?
It's absolutely sold out.
There's a shake of the head. The upturned hand. if we switch the camera over to the left-hand side view, he's gone straight for the comfort of his confidant, Andrew Betts. His trusty advisor and confidant. The Varys to his Tyrion.
And that's a reference I do get. Although I don't think he'll appreciate being compared to Tyrion.
And Betsy won't like being compared to Varys. That's a nice wee shot from Jake there. Like, he's just not afraid to kind of let the arm out, put a bit of mustard on the ball. I'm digging a little bit here, but stun. Yeah, like, ooh.
He's okay. Yeah, it was tracking towards that middle pocket. But
A bit of drama in the side pocket. There we go. Stops the rot. That is now 7-4. That's the first rack he's won since being 3-1 up.
correct, yeah, since rack 4, and that was rack 11. So, yeah, a long time coming.
Just wants to keep Dean from the hill at all costs, really. Because even if Dean's got a break and run in him, you know, he'd still need one more. He just wants to keep Dean from getting on that hill and, like, eliminating the worry of, like, in this alternate break format, you know, as he's kind of trying to climb the hill and get back up to level with Dean, you know, not having to worry about potentially just losing a match off a dish. Good break.
His last break was where he hit it too thin. That looks pretty good. At 7 might cause some problems though.
Let's check the alternate camera angle. Oh, that's tight. I think it, well, I don't know actually. I think you can get it past there. Maybe even cushion first off the back of the 7 if you're feeling creative, but I think you can sneak it through.
He's straight down on it, so I suggest it's okay.
Oh.
Well.
No, he played the plan and he has missed it. Yeah, his face doesn't betray much there, but you can tell by the body language he is not a happy bunny. So the butcher has thrown in a little bit of a chop there, and I've been waiting all match to.
I was just about to ask.
Taking inspiration from Phil Yates. Well, saying that, I'm a bit surprised with the way Dean's played that there, because he's, you know, with the pace he's hit that, he's introduced a bit of variability in terms of where the balls go, and they've not finished in a friendly spot. I think you'd really want to just keep them kind of close to the pocket, really. You don't have to hit that hard. And so as it turns out, he's in a bit of a tough spot. What's he looking at here? He's turning up his nose, he's grimacing, it's like he's almost talking himself into the shot.
This is sometimes where I think the lack of a shot clock doesn't help players. Probably the first thing he's looked at is probably the right shot, and now he's able to look at all the options and just maybe be between two things.
Up and down. Needs a nice contact. He's not got it.
You know, he's relying on being tight to the 8 ball really with that shot, and that was a tough thing to judge.
I've been summoned to go play my challenge game, so I will love yous and leave yous. Ben, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
And,
thanks, John. Good luck, mate.
Right, I will leave you to close out the rest of this commentary. See if we can rope someone else in.
You worry about your match. I'll
Yeah,
sort that out.
all right. See you in a bit.
Good luck.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
So as John departs, Jake fires in a lovely 2-ball, going round 2 rails and out for the 3. And that was always going to be a possibility, but he might have got away with this. He's going to ask for a referee to come and watch this shot because it's tight. And Yates leaps up from his tournament director position to watch this shot. And says it's okay. Cue ball certainly reacted as if it was okay. Good shot, but yeah, he was very lucky to leave himself any opportunity at that. But he'll take full advantage of it. And very likely now we'll see Jake close this gap further. This one's not done yet. Now just 2 behind at 7-5. Now the final GB9 tour of the season, Tour 4, will take place once again here at Redhill Spots and Stripes. And that's the 28th of November until the 30th. And that is right before the Moscone Cup happening just down the road, Alexandra Palace, London. So a little bit of breaking news, because the tournament organisers know there's going to be a lot of the American fans coming across to watch the Moscone, and they've had already some people asking if they can enter that event from America. So they've made the decision that 12 places are going to be reserved only for American fans coming across for the Moscone Cup for that GB9 Tour 4. So if you are from America coming across for the Moscone Cup and you want to play in this GB9 event that's just before that Moscone Cup, 28th to the 30th November, get in contact and they will sort you out. It'd be great to see some new faces from across the pond taking part. As Dean plays the push out, sorry. Interesting one, because he's left it easy hit. There's plenty of balls down this end of the table to get safe behind, so you can't refuse this really. Well, Jake thought he had left the bank. And he's massively got away with that, where that 2 ball's finished. So tight to the 8. Not potable for Dean. Not a lot he can do with it. Just looking to see if he can make a putting angle somehow by clipping off the 8. If not, he's got to work out some sort of safety. Didn't go, but it has gone pretty safe. Middle of the top rail. That's a good save. It's important he got that far across to the right hand side to bring the green 6 into the equation, because that makes any sort of jump shot a lot harder. Just weighing up whether the jumps gonna get in the result he needs. Yeah, he's having a go at it. Yeah, it was tough because he had to put so much into that to make sure he carried the 6. That he's just run straight into the ball right in front of him. But bit of a result where the 4's gone. Jake's going to have a tough time finishing these at this attempt. But he should be able to play a tell-in safety in a couple of shots' time, at the very least. Well, would you believe that? Suddenly, it's 7-6. So yeah, once again, GB9, Tour 4, 28th of November to the 30th. Get your applications in, because it's going to be a super fun one just before Moscone Cup. Some more stuff to be announced. Like I say, 12 spaces are going to be reserved for the American fans coming across to play, have a bit of fun in this event. Absolutely perfect break from Jake. Is he going to get a shot at this too? It's just gone awkward. Not the result you want after you've made 3 balls on the break, but at least he's got a shot. was tough to get a really telling safety just the way he had to hit that 2-ball. But distance is good. No, couldn't hit that much thinner. But he hasn't got away with this. He's left his shot. That 4-5 is awkward though. That's the best place to leave the cue ball, exactly where Jake just held his cue. Left hand side, around about the first diamond. Any other is fraught with danger. Tracking well. It's just going to hold up in time. Bit straight, but not bad at all. And he just got down and struck that ball so cleanly and quickly. His confidence has massively improved now. He's right back in this. After coming back from 7-3 down, looks for all the world like he's going to even this up, and it'll be a best of 3 to see who gets through to the semi-final. Still a little bit of work here to do. Would have liked to have been straighter on this, but shouldn't be too bad. Just might have to punch it a little bit, get across the table with the cue ball. Oh, it's wide though. Dean wouldn't have thought he was coming back. Really doesn't like it. It's so close to being straight. It's going to be running into the rail with the cue ball. It's going to be tough to get it back. He's just standing up a couple of times because someone's just made an announcement just as he's about to cue the ball. Should be safe this time. Right, I've told Sam off now for shouting on Dean's shot. Doesn't mean it won't happen again. But here we go, Dean on the hill. One high, nothing else down. Oh, look at these. It's a horrific leave. You can just see an edge of the one right behind it. Whether that's any value is another question. Well, he is playing it. And straight into the corner pocket for the scratch, which was a danger. And the worst thing he's done there is freed up the problem on the table and given Dean the angle to just push this 7 out the way and push the 2 towards the pocket. If he can solve this, you think it's going to be over. He's looking at going between them. Far less risk of the 7 covering the 2, but a bit more risk of catching it full and not having a pocket to pot in. And he just wants to make sure. Doesn't like any option really. So decides to go into the 7, which I think was the right shot. It was low risk of getting stuck behind it. And whilst it is a fairly straightforward run to the line from here, nothing is when you're on the hill. Things can always go wrong. You start seeing problems that you'd never even see in the middle of a match. That's a nice shot. Liked his decisiveness there. Didn't try and look at any other options. Knew that was the right shot to play. Just going to get his extension on his cue, so he's not going to be potentially touching this 7 as he cues over it. It's just held up. May have to stay short side for the 6. Punching it off the rail. It looks for all the world now Dean Shields is going to stamp his place into the semi-finals of the main event, where he'll face Mark Capito. This 9-ball for the match. Which he takes with aplomb. And two friends shake hands. And it is Dean Shields who we see go through to the semi-final. In the other rounds, other matches, Liam Monk has won against Mark Foster and has taken his place in the semi-final. And he's awaiting the winner of Matthew Wrigley and Ramesh Danagokal, currently 8-7 to Ramesh. So once we have the lineup, we will be back with the semi-finals. See you in a short while.
Now they coming wires, I'm retired off the best ones. I was in the creek, then in the dirt, I lived on both sides. Still was always me, no double life, can't pick the best ones. Friends, they come and go, still are the best ones. Through the lowest lows, and I still got blessed up. I've been running non-stop, I can't rest up. I'll just keep on working till I'm the best up. I've been trying to do right, but getting left much. Slipped and fell a few times, still got my chest up. In the gym, I got my chest up. New Takovas on my toes, now that the check's up. Giddy up. Lock it in, lights, camera, action.